Tea Vibes every Tuesday at 18 hours. Join the amazing Marpeh Lungu as she hosts different guests on the show and talks about cross-cutting issues that capture both a youthful and older audience. So be part of the fun as we bring you heated topics that spark up a variety of opinions and debates, all meant to educate, entertain, and give you that good vibe on a Tuesday evening. Make a date. It's Tea Vibes, only on Sunshine TV. Attention, taxi drivers of Livingston. Introducing the Adika Zambia Driver app, proudly brought to you. This app is your getaway to earning extra income. Join the Adika family today and start your journey towards financial freedom. 3% cashback instantly from every complete trip. Don't wait. Download from Google Play Store Adika Zambia Driver app. Adika, every mile with a smile. Attention, taxi drivers of Livingston. Introducing the Adika Zambia Driver app. This app is your getaway to earning extra income. Join the Adika family today and start your journey towards financial freedom. 3% cashback instantly from every complete trip. Don't wait. Download from Google Play Store Adika Zambia Driver app. Adika, every mile with a smile. Tea Vibes, proudly brought to you by Adika Zambia.
It is a lovely Tuesday and we are very excited here from Sunshine Studios that you could tune in and join us. And you know, Tea Vibes is all about bringing you topics, discussions, everything pertaining to your social life, family, community, spiritual life, everything in one package. And because we are all about bringing you everything you need, today we are talking job searching, CVs, do's and don'ts. Now, we all know that job searching can be such a daunting task, and sometimes you can be excited and overtaken with the dream of getting that dream job. But the question is, are we going about it the right way? We know that when you are searching for a job, you finally come across that advert, you come across that opening out there, you are required to apply in, and now we have many forms of sending in application letters. It's not just through the normal posting of that letter. You have emails. Sometimes they ask you to send in just your CVs. But the question remains, are we doing it the right way? Do we have the right information on our CVs? Do we have the things that they are looking for? Or are we adding extra things that are not even necessary? So maybe you haven't been called or you haven't made it to the list of those that should show up for interviews, and you've been wondering, what is going wrong? What am I not doing right? Is it a spiritual matter? So join us today as we dive into this discussion after this break. Okay.
Attention, taxi drivers of Livingston. Introducing the Adika Zambia Driver app. This app is your getaway to earning extra income. Join the Adika family today and start your journey towards financial freedom. 3% cashback instantly from every complete trip. Don't wait. Download from Google Play Store Adika Zambia Driver app. Adika, every mile with a smile.
So today I am going to be joined by my special guest all the way from Lusaka. His name is Hilary Mulenga. He is the talent Marvin, and he's also just an expert in this area, being a nature officer. I hope I got that right. So let us see if we can get him online as he takes us through the topic for today. Hi.
Hi, good evening. How are you?
I am great. How is Lusaka today?
Lusaka Lusaka is hot. I guess Livingston is hot as well.
Livingston is 3 times what you're experiencing in Lusaka. So before I hand over the platform to you, kindly introduce yourself so that our listeners today get to know who we have on the show today, what you are experienced in, and then you take the floor from there.
Thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to thank you for this opportunity to join this call. I'm very excited to interact with you. Happy for this. Happy wow is that day today. My name is Hilary Mulenga. I possess over 10 years of work experience in human resource management and various aspects that involve talent acquisition. I call myself talent marketer. Thank you much.
All right, so I will hand over to you as you take us through the journey of job searching, and of course partly we are looking at CVs, do's and don'ts. So just take the floor, tell us what we need to hear when it comes to job hunting or job searching.
Thank you very much, Marpeh. Just to connect from what you did the introduction very well, the job search can be daunting, and especially if you don't know what to do, you may be stuck and blame other people for opportunities that you're not seizing. So this evening, just to delve into the topic of the day, we'll look at job searching strategies, and in particular, looking at CV don'ts, CV do's and don'ts. First of all, we just begin by defining a CV. What is a CV? A CV is simply a statement that will represent you in your absence amongst people who are looking for employment on permanent or rather on contractual terms. So it becomes critical to know that it's a border post. So a CV is to help you advance in your career journey. So a CV, therefore, becomes a very important document that you need to pay attention to. In your absence, people look at your CV, and the CV should represent you well. Therefore, it should be very clear, simple, well formatted, and well understood by everybody. To quickly delve into the actual CV, a CV has a format. You don't just write it in an Harvard stage format, but you follow a specific format that I can call a format for now. So a CV basically has about 7 important points that you need to pay attention to. The first part is the biodata. It has got the top portion of a CV is called bio data section. This section covers your name, your contact details, mention that just the email address is professional. We emphasize that a email address should be professional. In my work experience, I've seen quite a number of emails that are very funny, and those may disadvantage you. CV as a profession that covers your professional competencies. A bit, just explain in brief what you are good at, what you've studied, what you are majored in, and what you can bring to the table. You can also include aspects as soft skills. You're a good communicator and things like that. The second portion should include you need to ensure that your qualifications are captured properly. And we emphasize that you only include qualifications that you have attained, not what you intend to study. On this portion, again, what the recruiters will look for, or what would be more appealing, or rather make them look at it and make decisions faster, would be that the information should be in reverse chronological order. Meaning that if you've studied more than one or two professions, you begin with the most recent qualification, which is relevant to the job. For example, if you have a diploma, a bachelor's, and a master's, you begin with the master's, then you go down the bachelor's and the diploma at the bottom. And always, in our context, you always ensure that your grade 12 also is indicated there. The second part is the professional qualification. This is one of the most important portions of the CV, and I would emphasize that people pay attention to what goes on there, because that's where most of the problems emanate from. This is a portion where I must mention that recruiters, or rather human beings, are able to make an impression within 6 to 8 seconds of looking at the CV. Just by browsing the CV, a series of these portions on the portion. So I'll begin with talking about the job itself. When you see an advert, or even before you see an advert, you must always ensure that that portion only includes things that you are good at. Again, in my work experience, I've seen people from other friends, or the people who make CVs, they just adopted and borrowed everything and included there. That may embarrass you once you are shortlisted. So ensure that portion has the work experience which is relevant. Then on that part, what you include is to deal with budget or financial analysis, cash flow analysis. Already, it will show that you have. So ensure that that portion includes only stuff that are relevant to the job. And with the advent of technology, most recruiters are now using technology to shortlist. So we advise that on that part, you ensure that you include the metrics, numbers. Because most of them, when they're shortlisting, they feed into the applicant tracking system. They feed it with numbers, metrics. And also, you ensure that in that portion, you include keywords that have been put in the advert, if there is one. So this portion should arrange the experience in reverse chronological order, beginning with the most recent. If you are currently working, that's what should come on top. Then second, so that to bullet for numbers, ensure that they are not in long paragraphs. Long sentence. Very important is or just being part of the numbers, but they want to see that what you're talking about has been done by yourself, or you collaborated with other people in driving that agenda. Not only being part of it, but you should show that you actually did that job, or you collaborated with others who were doing that job. The fourth part that you may need to include in your CV are your skills and abilities. Skills can be split into two. So there are soft skills and hard skills. Ensure that you mix them. Again, there, don't put more than 10, 20 skills. It's not common to find someone with over 20 skills. That will sell you. You may find yourself in a situation where you are attending an interview and you've indicated 20 skills. An interviewer will ask you to tell them about one of the skills, maybe the 18th skill, which you may even have forgotten. So also ensure that you only put skills that you know. If you are an engineer, if you are a mathematician, put skills that are related to that job. So the technical skills, more skills that we learn that will help us do the job. Soft skills, these are transferable skills. The soft skills include maybe time, you can say time conscious, professional skills, communication skills, and all those other skills that we call soft skills. So these things also ensure that as you're indicating, they are well formatted. That is very key also. There are computers now that can help you to justify your paragraphs and put them in a manner that is appealing. The other thing that you may need to include in your CV is the reference part. Very important portion, and it has got far-reaching consequences if you're not done properly. First of all, before you even list people as your referees, you need to engage them and inform them that you are listing them as referees. I worked with someone who did not inform the man he was putting as a referee. 2 months down the line, when we were doing the reference checks, the man refused and said that I don't know that person, and I've only met him once, and it was in other circumstances where he was dealing with a wrong thing that he had done somewhere. So ensure that you put people who vouch for you. Also, friends, the lecturers, people who taught you, the clergy, and people who are not close to you as family members. In most cases, if you are a fresh graduate, you may just put on your lecturers or your clergy. That way, it will be safer than putting someone who you don't even know. And ensure that your CV we want a CV on a magazine, maybe then you can put it. But in the corporate world, colleagues, it's not advisable to put your CV. And pay particular attention to the advert. When you have your CV done, you've done it. But in what format are you going to? Or most of the organizations indicate submit in PDF or Word. And then you submit in a JPG or picture form. It may not be compatible with the system there, and in the end, you may lose that opportunity. Now, you have a CV. What are the don'ts of a CV? What shouldn't you do? I mentioned earlier, I talked about your effort. I want to repeat that. The second thing that you ensure that you don't do is to send a CV which has got typo errors. Typing errors. No, be able to edit our CVs. Unprofessional email address, I mentioned that. Avoid, if you are, for example, John or Natasha, putting an email like nat6 what ads. So it's advisable just to use your names or names that are appropriate. You can use Hilary Mulenga at gmail.com, Hilary at and any other thing, but pay particular attention. There's actually a high percentage, probably 50% of recruiters have rejected CVs because of not having an appropriate email address. The other thing that you may not need to do is to use the wrong font, wrong format of saving your document. Again, ensure that you check all the time. Another critical thing that you don't want to find yourself in is having experiences that are not related to the job. Check, conform your CV towards the job. Always take what the advert is asking for and prepare your CV in line with what the job is looking for. Do not use the same CV. You have to tailor it to the job at hand. Or they check through and you make sure that the job is tailored to your CV is tailored to the job that has been advertised. In most cases, we've seen people reuse the same CV for any kind of job, and people just laugh and throw it away. Meanwhile, you'll be there praying, fasting, and accusing village people for things that you. Now, every night, how do you find jobs? Where do you find jobs? They did a survey in July, for 3 months, July to October, on social media. It was discovered that there were over 200,700 jobs that were found shared, and let go do the rest. Where to find jobs? Newspapers is the traditional way of doing things. We've always found jobs in newspapers. Some people don't read newspapers; they think it's old-fashioned. But most of the government institutions post their jobs in newspapers. Other places are job boards like LinkedIn. They are just on Facebook. What kind of people do you follow? Are you there for drama? Do you take time to check other platforms that are just talking about jobs? Or yours is to look at who's having beef with who? Colleagues, let's ensure that we use social media for a greater good. The other thing that most of the organizers, you agree with me that if you check today, any company you find on social media, and most of them have posted a lot of jobs. Today I was checking other reasons you may not see. Colleagues, the other thing that we may need to do is to enhance networking. We find jobs through meeting people. Used to network. Others will respond to any invitation to a tavern and think that is networking. Networking has to be purposeful and reciprocative. So ensure that you follow people that will lead you somewhere. If you see you want to join a student institution, you know them through LinkedIn or Facebook or Space, Instagram, follow them. Be deliberate about it. Invite them for coffee, make friends with them. Don't just contact people when you want them. It may be difficult like that. You think people networking doesn't work. The other job fairs also that go on. You should stay tuned to social media, and you'll be interested in doing all those things. So once you do that with your good CV, I can assure you that it's just a matter of time before you find the job. You need to start doing. When preparation meets an opportunity, success is guaranteed. So this evening, I would urge you to work on your CV. If you have a photo and you're in the corporate world, please remove it. It won't help you in any way, or it may instead disadvantage you. So quick talking endeavors and as you look for jobs. I thank you. Marpeh, over to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Hilary. I think that was a very helpful talk. And just some of the things that I picked up when you talked about having your CV updated, like from time to time. You have your CV tailored according to the particular job that you are applying for. You also talked about removing things that are not related. So you may have experience in that field, in a particular field, like added experience and all, but it's not matching with the job that you are applying for at that particular moment. So you talked about those things being unnecessary. I was going to ask you a question about the photo. And I'm glad that you mentioned it. You said that photo is not necessary. Some of us have had plans to go for a photo shoot and just make sure that we add that to a CV. So we are going to come back for a conclusion, but right now we take a break.
Attention, taxi drivers of Livingston. Introducing the Adika Zambia Driver app. This app is your getaway to earning extra income. Join the Adika family today and start your journey towards financial freedom. 3% cashback instantly from every complete trip. Don't wait. Download from Google Play Store Adika Zambia Driver app. Adika, every mile with a smile.
Welcome back. You are still with us on T Vibes, and today we are talking job searching, CVs, do's and don'ts. And I think we've gotten enough from that talk. I would just like to know if we still have Hilary on the call. I just have maybe one or two questions as we conclude. One important question, and I think I've seen this around. So say your CV was on point, you were contacted, and then you go for an interview. So there's a part where they ask, how much are you expecting to get from this job? What is the correct response to that question? Because some of us have mentioned huge amounts. Maybe that's why we were not called back, because we were expecting too much. So what is the correct response or helpful response to that question?
And that should be the simplest question on the panel. First of all, the first thing you do before you attend any interview is to do a research on that organization. So two critical things that you need to consider is to find out if the institution or the structure is change, others you're able to negotiate. So you need to check before you attend the interview, do a research on how much how much they offer certain grades or just a range of the salaries. So my best technique is, if I've researched, I'll give a range. For example, I would say between 10,000 kwacha and 15,000 kwacha. That is if I have information prior to that interview. If I don't know, everyone else people say they know their worth. People know their worth. You also need to know your worth. You don't just look for a job and say anything. I'm looking for anything. It may not come forth. I believe if you sit down and you look at your needs, for example, you look at something that will make you happy, that will make you go for work every day. Even if you discover that tomorrow your co-worker gets higher than you do, but you still won't complain because you feel that what they're giving you is you're content with what they're giving you. So you have to know your worth somehow. If you don't have information, give a figure. If you ask me a figure, I'll tell you what I think I need at a particular time. You may say you are a fresh graduate, you have no idea, but still, when you go for work, I believe you need to come back with something. You take care of your cost. What do you want to remain with you? I think that will guide you to make a decision. But I would advise every time do a research and give a range. If you're not sure of the specific amount, you can give a range of what you feel is right for you. I hope that answers your question.
Well answered. The second question is, when you are asked to tell the panel about yourself, what do they want to hear? Because I don't want to say, oh, okay, so I've also been doing this. And when I was young, my grandmother did ABCD to me. What are they looking for when they ask you to tell them about yourself?
Great. Mostly, when they ask you that question, there are two ways of asking it. Others will tell you, in 5 minutes, tell us about yourself. Others will tell you, under a minute or under 30 seconds, tell us about yourself. Already, you should click that 5 minutes, what do I talk about? They need more information. So if, for example, you are a veteran, you've been working for so many years, you may talk for 5 minutes about your profession. Say you can start from where you did your high school from, and then you go to the tertiary, how you learned along the way, your interests, and make sure that all those things are related to the current job you are being interviewed for. So your lessons along the way, how if you are promoted at some point, how other job, what you learned. If it's a short period that they've given you, you may just start talking about your tertiary education, what you've studied, where you are, you can even go into what you're good at. You may talk about your soft skills and what you're bringing to the table. If they haven't specified on giving you a time frame, you can start from your high school, talk a bit about your high school, your other interests, how you went to tertiary education, how you started working, what you learned, what you did, skills you learned, and where you are. Always talk about what I
Final question as we conclude the program this evening. So when they tell you, we'll call you, and you feel like they are delaying, is it right to call the company where you attended interviews and say, what is going on? Do you have a place to get feedback just in case they pick somebody else and you want to know maybe why you were left out. So is there room for somebody to call back and find out if they employed somebody else, and if they did and you were left out, is it okay to check maybe what might have made them to leave you out?
Great. It's very right to ask for feedback when you attend an interview. A serious organization will actually tell you to say, check on us, or we'll respond to you in the next 14, 15 days, a month, and that process, ask for another appointment when you can check on them. Even after they communicate, serious institutions, first of all, will write to you a regret letter. We regret to inform you that you attended the process. We'd say you're not progressing with you, or that interview process has closed and you've offered another person. Then you can, at that point, you can feel free either to call HR, to make an appointment, to understand your gaps. That's very critical and very important. Most people don't do that. Most people are scared to call back, but it's in order. That's how you grow. Because in these things, you grow from mistakes. You learn where you went wrong, and you need to get feedback and prepare for the next job. Because another job will certainly come. That's not the last institution, but you can use it to learn. I call those moments rehearsals for me, because I will know that I will learn a lot of lessons and I will work on my weaknesses. So we should feel free to call institutions and ask for feedback. I thank you.
Thank you so much for availing yourself and just being here with us today to share what we needed to know in regards to job searching, how to write a CV, what should be included there, what is necessary to be included, and what should not even be thought about when preparing a CV. Thank you so much. We appreciate for your time. And to our listeners, thank you for joining in to T Vibes today. Remember, we come to your screens every Tuesday, 18 hours live on Sunshine Studios. Remember to invite people to just follow Sunshine Studios, because we have so much in store for you. So on behalf of my producer, Mr. Bernard Gani, and my sound engineer, Clarence, this has been Marpeh Lungu. See you next week, same time, same place. Thanks.
T Vibes, proudly brought to you by Adika Zambia. T Vibes, proudly brought to you by Adika Zambia. T Vibes, every Tuesday at 18 hours. Join the amazing Marpeh Lungu as she hosts different guests on the show and talks about cross-cutting issues that capture both a youthful and older audience. So be part of the fun as we bring you heated topics that spark up a variety of opinions and debates, all meant to educate, entertain, and give you that good vibe on a Tuesday evening. Make a date. It's T Vibes, only on Sunshine TV.